Ladies and gentlemen, halfway through the college football season, it's a very sad thing. Fun fact for you, both Army and Navy are ranked for the first time since 1945. Something else happened in 1945. That's not important. What is important is that after halfway through the college football season, we know what these teams are. We know pretty much what these teams aren't. We're going to review these rankings. Also, of course, like every week, I ask you guys in the comments and in my community post what y'all think about the top 25. So we're going to talk about y'all's comments. And then, of course, we're going to look at the AP website itself, see the big transitions that have made. Not as big of jumps as we saw from last week, obviously being the upset week, but I think a lot of things that are still a little bit controversial. We don't have as many double numbers, so we're going to hop right into it. First things first, appreciate y'all watching these videos so much. Hope you're supporting it. Hope you're liking it. If you are, like it. If you don't like it, dislike it. If you enjoy college football content, subscribe, hit that little bell thing of and then let's get locked up in here. Let's get right into the top 25. Number one. I bleed burnt orange and apparently dark red, but that's not important. I'm not talking about anatomically. I'm talking about Bevo boys, and I'm one of them. Give us the golden cowboy hat. We knock the Sooners up out of Dallas. Take you right across that Red River. Get up out of here, son. Number 2, Oregon. Impressive. You go against a $20 million squad and you handle business. Dylan Gabriel, who I was very worried about. I knew he was a talented guy, but he had a lot of weird decisions in the first few games of the week for Oregon. So good to see him do what he does and really sling it around town. Penn State, hey, man. Andrus business against USC. They're doing what they need to do. I'm not sure if they're a number 3 team, but hey, they've answered every challenge that I've given to them. So the Nittany Lions are sitting firmly at number 3. Oh, and I forgot something that I always do is my top 10. I completely forgot. Let me hold up. I'm gonna get my top 10 together. I'm not gonna fully do my top 10. I'm gonna just start it off like this. I'm gonna go like, you feel me? I'm gonna go like this, and then we're gonna come back to it. I completely forgot about that. Number 4, Ohio State. Again, it was a close loss. Are they the number 4 team in the nation in my eyes? I'm not sure. I think this is a very stacked team. I think that team is going to be better than Penn State. But, hey, man, we're going to see when they play. We're going to see when they play. Georgia, of course, Georgia and Tennessee. Not Georgia and Tennessee. Georgia and Texas play this upcoming Saturday. This Saturday is the Saturday I think that we thought last Saturday was. And I'm hoping it's as good as the Saturday before last Saturday because that was absolutely phenomenal. We've got some really good games. Big test for both Georgia and Texas, so things should be shaking up when we look at the AP poll this time next week. Continuing on, Miami gets a bye week, gets to chill at and survive, chilling at number 6. They're going to have to get tested. I think it's good that both of these rough games, quote unquote rough games, came and then they get to hit that bye week because they can look at themselves in the face. Cam Ward can sit down and say, hey, maybe I shouldn't be as fresh as I think I am because he's pretty fresh, but he gets so confident sometimes. I feel like he feels like he can throw every single ball, which he can throw 99.9% of them. Sometimes it gets him in trouble. So I really hope that team can, because it's good for college football when the U is doing big things. So I'm all really about that. So going into Bama, number 17, I think they should have slid down a little more in my opinion. I mean, you struggle with South Carolina, who on paper is a talented roster. Dylan Stewart is top 5 in sacks right now as a true freshman. They got some dogs on that squad, so let's not get it mixed up. LSU handles business against Ole Miss. Again, Ole Miss is supposed to be the number 1 offense in the nation. Jackson Dart leads in receiving, in passing yards. Trey Harris, I believe, is still number 1 in receiving yards as a wide receiver. So this is a high-octane offense that LSU just decided to get smash mouth in and close the game out. And I saw a comment, I think it was a TikTok or something, and something that you see throughout college football, that you see throughout football in general, is anytime you see these pass-heavy offenses, right? These offenses like put in the air, they're very good, they're flat, like they can get going and they can really get going. They can really put points up and they can start rolling and going fast and explosive plays. But when they don't do that and all you need is like a 4-minute drive, all you need to do is just let's chew some clock and let's move the ball and control the flow of the game. When you can't do that, like Ole Miss seemingly couldn't do, it really makes it tough, and it makes for in the game of football for an LSU team to close out. Iowa State gets its respect. I really, really like this. I like them at number 9. They're undefeated. They've been playing good football. I mean, they're handling business in the Big 12. I think it's one of those things as an undefeated team who isn't a marquee name within the world of college football, especially when you talk about the Power 5. Iowa State, being ranked at number 9, give them their respect. They've been playing good football, and we continue there. Clemson at number 10. All Clemson has done since losing to Georgia is just keep their head down and play some decent football, except against that Florida State game. People wanted to gloss past that, but y'all go back and watch that Florida State game. It was a little more than you expect. But regardless, other than that, Cade Klubnik is on pace. We should start talking about Heisman Cade Klubnik. I don't know. I have no idea. At least pushing some propaganda. All right. At least try to push some propaganda for my man Cade Klubnik. I think he deserves it. He's been playing a lot better football. So at the very least, you can give him that. Them 10 boys escape against Florida. Another high-octane offense. That's really not really a high-octane offense. I talked about this in a few of my Tennessee recaps, and I crowned Tennessee as that offense in the first 2-3 weeks. They look so amazing, high-flying. Nico is putting the ball everywhere. But if you really paid attention, like I was looking at those stats, the rushing yards was big, and they had explosive rushing yards. They had big plays in the rushing game that allowed Nico to then go on the back end and light things up. Now, that running game, the reason why I say that running game has stayed consistently good, but not as amazingly as explosive, not as efficient as it was in those first 3 weeks. And we're seeing that Nico is really struggling, not having the safeties bite it a little more, not having the space that he wanted more. And my big question for my Tennessee guys is, who is the alpha receiver there? Who is, do y'all have a big stack receiver? No one stands out to me in all. Maybe I need to be paying a little more attention. I don't know. But Dylan Sampson's a dog, and Simpson is also a dog too. So that game, I mean, that team goes as far as that running game can, and they outlast Florida, which is not a bad team. Let's stop those myths. Florida State's a bad team. Florida is not a terrible team. Notre Dame at number 12, slipping under the radar. BYU, one of the best defenses in the nation, clearly the scariest team in the Big 12, I would say. I know Iowa State's up here, but I think BYU is the scariest. Their defense is very highly ranked. So is Iowa State as well. So I think we need to pay a little more attention to the Cougs and the Cyclones as we continue pushing forward. I don't like the Aggies. I'm a Texas fan. At 14, though, do what you do, how you do, the way you do. Boise State, Ashton Genty's at number 15. Ashton Genty, a little bit of an off day, a little bit of an off week. He only rushed for like 217 yards and 2 touchdowns. So maybe next week he can get up going, really get cooking, because only 217. I'm not sure what that's doing. Indiana, very, very solid squad, great defense, very, very rough and tumble Big Ten team. KSU, good win versus Colorado. You outlast them. But again, you didn't show us anything phenomenal. It just showed that the Big 12 is going to be very flat. I think it's going to be very, very cannibalistic. Colorado showed you that they can hang with what I think is one of the better teams in the Big 12. I don't think it's crazy to say. The rankings say it. I think they play good football. So it's good to see. Ole Miss slides down to number 18, obviously after losing to Tennessee. I mean, not Tennessee. After losing to LSU. Mizzou rolls some no-name team. Pitt is undefeated, by the way, and only ranked number 20. They're hanging out in the ACC, so they can get forgotten there. But hey, they're taking care of business. Who was that? Hey, and Smooth was a lot of people had high hopes, and then it seemed like after the first loss, everyone just gave up it's whatever. But I think a lot of people are forgetting the 12 team playoff. I think we're forgetting the way in the interesting different scenarios that these group of 5 teams can actually slide into the playoffs. And sadly, and I know we've got a lot of field here, but a lot of these teams got to play each other too. I mean, Ohio State's got to play Penn State. Texas has to play Georgia. We've got a lot of situations that need to be situated within. Texas has to play Texas A&M. There's a lot of different scenarios where a group of 5 team can slide in a lot of different ways. And not to skip over Illinois, but I'm skipping over Illinois. I think y'all lost a great team, a great defense. All the I teams, Iowa State, Illinois, Indiana, a lot of I teams doing good stuff. I'm gonna skip over Michigan too because no one cares, because the 2 crazy group of 5 teams, not wait, not technically group of 5. Wait, is one of them in the Power 5? I don't think it don't matter. They're Army and Navy, dog. You know what Army and Navy does. You know that Army and Navy is not a marquee, a hallmark, top tier NFL prospect type team that's competing for national championships. You know this since not back since they was actually recruiting. You know what I'm saying? If you catch my drift. But we have a very, very interesting conversation and a very interesting scenario where we could see Army and Navy slip and slide in to the college football playoffs. I believe both of these teams still play Notre Dame. If Notre Dame is clean with between both of any of these wins and they have a top 15 win on their resume and they're still undefeated coming into when it's time to be selection time, I don't know. I don't know how you keep the Black Knights, and I don't know how you keep Navy out. And, of course, Army and Navy play each other. So there could be an interesting scenario where one gets the Notre Dame win, then they beat the other one, and then they go and get Notre Dame again, and then they just kind of stack their profiles against each other. So y'all be on the lookout for that. I think that would be amazingness. Now, let's take a peek. Before we take a look at y'all's comments and concerns, I just like to see the movement. Again, not as much movement here. Ohio State only moves back 10 points. 10 points. Only moves back 2 spots. Again, I think that's respectful. It wasn't a major loss for them. It wasn't a huge thing. I would like to see Ryan Day win a big game, but again, you're away. You're crossing over into different time zones. Respectable a two-place drop. LSU slides up after beating Ole Miss. That's good. Iowa State slides up respectfully after handling UCF, who's just been an embarrassment. Tennessee slides down 3 spots after a win, rightfully so. And Notre Dame slides down there. They're not doing nothing. BYU slides up, and then a lot of, besides Ole Miss with a big slide, you don't have anything huge. SMU really coming in to terms with being a real deal top 25 team, so that's good to see there. Let me finish my top 10. I think just blindly ranking this, I got to give Oregon. Oregon has elite defense right now. They shut me up. Dylan Gabriel's playing good football, so I don't know what else to tell you. Can I be honest with you? I think I might put Georgia right here, dog. I know that's crazy. You know what? I'm gonna do something crazy. How about this? And this is gonna make a lot of people in a lot of places upset. But I really think that Ohio State Oregon game is still it's a toss up to me. And I know technically you gotta pull them back because they lost, but it's a toss up to me. And I'm really gonna. That's just how I'm feeling. Yes, I'm putting multiple 2-loss teams ahead of a no-loss. Can I spell GERG? This is what I get for doing this. I lost my ability to spell. Go ahead and put Penn State there. Then go ahead and put Miami at 6. And then who else we got? At 7? We got Alabama, 8, 9. I'm gonna just do it and I ain't gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna do it. I ain't gonna talk about Alabama, LSU, Iowa State. Yeah, I'm gonna make y'all real mad with this one. I'm gonna make y'all real mad with this one. Iowa State, BYU as one of the most respected teams, Alabama, and then LSU. LSU. That's it. Take a picture of it. Looks ugly. Texas, Oregon, Ohio State, Georgia, Penn State, Miami, Iowa State, BYU, Alabama, LSU. This is my wildest top 10 of the year. Now, looking at this top 25, see how you guys feel about it. Yo, a ranked Army-Navy game this year would be amazing. I would love to see that. I think regardless, we're going to be in for a great Army-Navy game. I think we can all say there. How are we still 7? We're talking about Alabama. Again, South Carolina is a good squad on paper, but when you really get into the nittiness and the grittiness, there is no reason why they should be competing like that against Alabama. Nebraska deserves a spot. They've been quiet ever since they had that early loss. I believe they lost to K-State early in the season. They just been kind of quiet over there. Vols fan here, not saying we shouldn't have dropped after our poor performance, but how do we drop? But Bama stays at 7. Y'all forgot that Saban left. I have to agree. If I don't. Like, it's clear that Tennessee got punished for barely surviving Florida, but Alabama doesn't get punished for barely surviving South Carolina, especially after losing to Vandy. They should be on an extra hot seat in my mind. Hey, real deal. I agree. And I'm also gonna agree with Homeskillet the Biscuit. He's speaking facts right now. I'm all whoa. Sorry, I don't know. I did not mean to do that, Mr. Dave F. But anyway, he's speaking fact. He is speaking factual facts. Facts. First of all, go Ducks. Top 10 looks good to be honest. I honestly think that his undefeated Big 12 teams in Indiana are undefeated are so low due to strength of schedule. Yeah, that's the big thing. And I know I'll put BYU up there. I just think they impress me. And I like the teams. I think they're spunk. I think they got a lot of spunk. And it's probably the only time and the only Big Ten they're ever going to get into because BYU is probably not going to be able to close out. But I hope they let me know. Replace Michigan with Vandy. Vandy deserves something, man. Something. If both of the academic, and I know that they're undefeated, but I mean, Vandy's got some real wins under their belt. I absolutely love Army and Navy being in the top 25 as a retired vet. Nice. The 16-team playoff works because the Super Conference have now forces all the ranked teams to each other. What are we talking about? We need a 20. I said we need more. He said we need more. He said we don't have enough, dog. BYU needs to be above Notre Dame. Is he cooking? He says BYU needs to be over Notre Dame. Cyclones over LSU. I don't know if they're over LSU. Kyron Lacey makes and Nussmeier, that's a real deal offense. This isn't just a bunch of bums out there. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Hey, someone's going to the Texas UGA game. Like to hear that. Bama not dropping. Wow. Hey, look at Navy. Feels like a Swami. What? What are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about? Any other big likes here? Any other crazy takes? Nothing crazy, man. I'm gonna go through these. You know, I'll pop in here and I'll respond to y'all stuff. Nothing seemed to be anything too crazy, but an elite top 25. A lot of things that are wrong with it. A lot of things that are right with it. Bama at 7 is wild. How do you lose to Vandy and still be in the rankings, let alone top 10? Vandy has never won anything. Wow. Just a disgrace to the doctors out there in Tennessee. But y'all be phenomenal. Y'all be amazing. Y'all get in the comments and let me know what your college football team is, what their schedule is going to be to finish out the season. And y'all, like I said, just be amazing. Be great. Like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't like it, subscribe, put the bell, do it, jump up and down, whatever the YouTubers say to do, you do it, man. We'll see you next time.